Another zombie movie that I saw recently was it's called Dead Snow, and it's a Swedish movie. And of course, it was in the mountains of Sweden, and it's all picturesque and idyllic looking, and you know, just ideal for skiing or, you know, having a retreat in the mountains. And it's like 7 medical students, and of course they're getting away for the weekend, so they're going to their little cabin in the mountains and all. And when they get there, they're sitting around, you know, smoking, drinking, whatever it is they're doing. And somebody knocks on the door. And it's this guy, and he's telling them this story. Of course, it's an unbelievable, outrageous story about some spirits and craziness going on in the mountains. And it has to do with World War II. So he's telling them this story, and this is, of course, it's just really far-fetched, and they're not sure if they want to believe it, but then, of course, they start disappearing, and all type of craziness starts happening. And come to find out, it's a zombie horde of Nazi war criminals. And inside this cabin that they happen to be in, there's a wooden box filled with jewelry and gold and coins and stuff. And this apparently is what the zombie horde is after. So of course they have to, you know, eliminate them one by one, and you know, it's a whole lot of slicing and dicing, and you know, you just feel like the group, you know, somebody's gonna survive, and somebody's gonna be able to run to civilization and tell them what's going on in this mountain village, you know. And it's snow everywhere. You know how hard it is to walk in snow. Not to mention trying to run in snow with some living dead people behind you. You know how hard that is? It is so incredible. And I can just feel their pain. I'm like, oh my goodness, he's not going to make it. Because I know if I had to run in some snow, I just don't think I would make it. Just because. And I try to stay in shape. Another movie that I saw recently was Quarantine 2, Terminal. And if you know anything about the Quarantine movie, it's actually a remake of a movie called Wreck, and I believe that was a Spanish movie done some years ago. But from what I understand, it's basically the same story about, you know, the lady going into the building with the fire department guys, and then all hell breaking loose. It's not really a zombie movie because they say that it's rabies, right? But because the people once bitten exhibit a zombie-like behavior, I'm just classifying Quarantine as a zombie movie. Because and in Quarantine 2, Terminal, it's actually it's a continuation of the first movie in that this airplane is taken off from the airport from LA, which is where the outbreak happened in the building. So once the airplane lands in whatever city it's going to, the authorities are trying everything they can to keep the people that was on the flight contained, because they feel like the people are bringing with them the virus just because they've come from the city in which the outbreak started. So they even show on TV them at the building, you know, with the CDC, and you know, if you saw the first Quarantine, you know what they did. But so they try to keep all of the occupants that were on board the aircraft contained in a terminal. You know, an airplane terminal, and it's all closed off, and every door they go to that's electronically powered, they can't get it open, and you hear the CDC outside talking to them, telling them, oh yeah, we coming, we gonna help you, we gonna help you. In the meantime, all hell is breaking loose in the terminal because the zombie that was on the plane is now in the terminal. And again, this is another movie that has a pregnant woman in it. Yes. So I thought it was interesting. It was a little silly. One thing that kind of irked me was that there was a character in it that kind of looked like Justin Bieber, and he's kind of running around acting like he knows everything and whatnot. But it was interesting. It was silly. I think I gave it a 3 stars. There were 2 other zombie movies that's kind of worth mentioning. when I was a kid, about 16, there was a movie came out called Sugar Hill. And Sugar Hill is a zombie movie, but it's more like from the voodoo standpoint and the Haitian aspect of what they call zombies, because there's this folklore in Haiti about, you know, people being zombie-like. And there was also a movie some years ago called The Serpent and the Rainbow with Bill Pullman. And it was about him being buried alive, and you know, it was in Haiti, and it was really just kind of a creepy movie, but exciting nonetheless. But anyway, Sugar Hill kind of reminds me of The Serpent and the Rainbow. And Sugar Hill came out first, and the Serpent and the Rainbow was some years later. But they were similar in that it was based on the voodoo and Haitian concept of zombie-like behavior. But I watched Sugar Hill recently because I hadn't seen it in a very long time, since 1974. And the zombie was just basically exacting revenge on a group of people that had done Sugar Hill some wrong, and you know, she had to get revenge. So she summoned the voodoo god, and he brought back the zombies, and they did what she needed them to do. But also, I saw a movie called They Came Back. That's another French movie about zombie, but there was never no killing went on in this movie. It was a zombie movie from a different standpoint. It was kind of like everybody who had recently passed away all of a sudden came back, and they were just kind of walking down the street really, really slow. And the government started doing these things to try to keep them in a particular place, just so they could study their behavior and to see, you know, what would happen. And to me, what was odd is that it was kind of like coming back from the dead and then trying to reassimilate into society. Now, if you've ever seen Pet Sematary, you know that once you're dead, you come back, you are not going to be right. You know, it's just not going to be right. So the people were trying to assimilate back into society, but it wasn't quite working. It has something to do with their memory and just the way that they view things. So, you know, they was trying to figure out a way so they could leave and not be there anymore. In the meantime, the government had come up with some type of a drug or something that would subdue them, even though they weren't doing any harm, because one lady, obviously her boyfriend came back and she was having sex with him, and I was like, ew, no, nope. Because I feel like once you're dead and you come back, you can't possibly be the same person. And this movie bears that out. It's just not, you're just not the same. And like I said, there was no bloodletting in this movie. There was no slicing and dicing and chewing up bones and flesh and none of that. So it was a different type of a zombie movie. And I gotta say that I was expecting them to all of a sudden snap, but it never happened. So it was kind of a laid back movie, and it was interesting, and you know, it was just a different type of zombie movie. So this Saturday, February 11th, AMC is running the entire first season of The Walking Dead, all day Saturday and all day Sunday, leading right up into the mid-season premiere episode at 9 p.m. on AMC. Now, I imagine they're going to have lots of surprises for us for this the remainder of the season. And it is going to be very interesting to see how things pan out. You know, people be talking about it on Facebook, and, you know, everybody's got an opinion about everything. And, you know, you're wondering what's going to happen. But I think that if there was a real zombie situation, I think that the last thing I will be thinking about is knocking boots with anybody, because it's just a really, really scary situation. I would really hate to be in a zombie-like situation, because it's just like, you don't know what may happen. But who knows? Maybe I would be immune to zombie bites. But sometimes I'll start watching the zombie movie and it's just too ridiculous. I can't even finish it. Oh, I gotta say this before I end. My all-time favorite zombie movie is Shaun of the Dead, just because of what it entails and the fact that it's so hilarious, and it's really, really a very, very fun movie to watch over and over again. The other night I started watching a movie called Zombies of Mass Destruction, which was obviously a trying to copy Shaun of the Dead, but it was so ridiculous. I think I got 30 minutes into it and I said, you know what? I don't care what happened to any of these people. This is ridiculous. So I didn't finish watching it. That's Zombies of Mass Destruction. So I think I gave it like 1 star. There was another one that I started watching called Severed. Something about the forest of the dam or something. I stopped watching that also because it was just too stupid. Sometimes a movie will start out good and then it just kind of goes downhill from the beginning, and when that happens, I just don't even bother. But surprisingly though, I've watched a couple of interesting zombie movies. So if you're a deadhead, then I know you're all set for the premiere episode on AMC on Sunday. So thank you so much for tuning in to RuthieWorld, ZombieWorld on RuthieWorld Web TV.